Ladies and germs and gentlemen, all 8 million of you around the world and around the globe, you know, we appreciate you. We're back. We're back. It's about a week later. I think it was Sunday. No, Monday you had off, so it was Monday. So, wow, we're recording twice in 1 week. Mark it down, Tucker. Mark it down.
Write that down. Write that down.
While we still have some motivation to continue. We think we're, like, really close to being done. Because there's only 3 main missions on here. Plus, if we zoom out, like, on the map, we've pretty much got the map clear, right? The wrench in the works, back on, like, those are missions we've already discovered. There's a few safe houses left. I think we're really close. I don't know. This game works in such a bizarre way because it doesn't have a linear main story. It has regions, and you clear the regions, and then you can do those in any order you want, and that's somehow supposed to tie everything together. So what we're going to be doing now is that we are going to clean up the side missions. We're not going to find all the collectibles and stuff. We already went over that. But we did say we would try to do like as close to a 100% run as we possibly could. So I suppose that is what we are going to be next. Is at least trying to do the side quests. We decided that this was by far the worst DLC in the game so far. Tucker, what made us dislike this DLC so much?
Lack of content.
Yeah, well, it's the story too, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like no point in hiding in a hotel when there's a bunker like 200 meters away.
Yeah, the writing was just subpar. I don't think it really advanced the story, and they went over stuff that they've already gone over. To be fair, they don't go over a whole heck of a lot in the main story either. Like, you could totally be in the dark with this main story because as much as they've updated the game, there's 2 NPCs and they leave you within, like, what, 3 missions?
I think. I don't know.
So if you're not prepared to, like, read your way through this, like old school, just not gonna happen. Generation Zero, you know, is a game that has all the right building blocks, but doesn't have the substance yet to really make it stand out. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Hint, hint, I'll probably say it as we're wrapping up and giving our closing thoughts on this game. Make a sequel. Make a sequel and bring the story. You've got the multiplayer. Big ups on that. You can definitely improve the looting. And you've already got the robots. You've got the sound design. You've got the open world stuff down. Like, the technology's here. You're clearly competent enough to do the technology. Modernize the game and give it a better story and, like, NPCs and stuff. And I think you're there. And then, some bigger ideas like deeper leveling. More interesting robots, but even better AI on the robots. All these things can come with the sequel. You just kind of got to double down and fix what is not in this one. And I don't know that DLCs are gonna do it. This is not worth going on. Pretty sure we already did it too. How far away
What's the
is this side
password?
mission? What's that, Tuck?
Hmm?
You were saying something?
Oh, okay.
What?
That's what I said.
You said what about?
Oh, okay.
What the? Okay. So we're doing unfinished business. How far? This map is not that big. This can't be that hard to go to. Relation, last resort, light in the dark. Wait, none of these are on this thing. But yet it says that that's... Locate the military compound on the west mountain of Himfall. There's unfinished investigation. Last resort. Don't tell me we're, like, running for a main world side mission. Have we actually done most of the side missions in the main game too? Not a lot on there. Let's talk about that too. What did most of the side missions boil into, Tucker?
Go to this place, get this item.
Yeah, go to this place. Sometimes we don't even have to get the item. Like, a lot of the time, yeah, but a lot of the time it's literally just go to the place.
Go to the place, look around, leave.
There was a couple times where we had to get like a cache or maybe grab a note, but you don't even have to return with the note.
Yeah, or just kill a robot over there, but...
There's a robot. And it's usually like you're fighting tanks and harvesters and legions of hunters, and there's some ticks. Can't possibly get through them. One tick hanging on to a it's intermingling with a computer. What's the what's the word for that?
Melding.
Melding's a good word. It's the technological word. Together.
Combine.
Yeah, combined, but it's still not the word.
Trying to be fancy.
I'm trying to be fancy. Very specific. It doesn't really matter right now, though, does it? I'm always looking for it because it's one of my favorite jokes in Borderlands. Claptrap's talking about. He's like on a computer and he's like clearly dry humping it, and he's like, I'm trying to. Like when you add a component to your PC. You get the idea. Let us continue this.
Boo!
Robot Skyrim. So Tucker logged into Starfield and I logged into Starfield. That's the game we have to compare this to. Yeah, I think I'd be like super into this game if there was like Starfield level storytelling. And maybe it's a genre selection. That's what Tucker and I discussed. It's like, well, I don't know that I'm into this stuff. I do enjoy games with a lot of story. I used to be, when I was in school for digital media and computer science stuff, making games, which I did for a few years. I used to be like a ludologist. A ludologist is somebody who thinks that gameplay is king, story is secondary, doesn't really. My philosophy is much changed on that.
Rock. Mic mute.
My mic's muted?
Yeah.
I'm talking in the recording right now.
There we go. For some reason, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I think you have to have a story because there's a lot of games that are that. A lot of games during the same time that we were like learning that, and that was a big like philosophy discussion. We're really trying to be that pure ludologist style game. The number one game I think of to describe ludology is like Trove. Have you ever played Trove, Tucker?
No.
Trove is another voxel game. Voxel is.
Like pixel.
It's the cube graphics like Minecraft.
Right.
So it's a voxel game that goes for like Torchlight. It's a dungeon runner game. It has an open world. You can build a base in it, but the base doesn't do anything. It's just kind of for fun. It's like a couple little things. It's nothing like Minecraft or Fallout or anything like that. There it is. Find the Morse code thing inside the barracks. See, the missions usually boil down to run to the place and do the thing. I know a lot of games do that, but see, it's the story that then separates it. There's a game design book I read that basically talked about how, like, yeah, you got to get the game right. Then you really need to make sure that the accents and the side dishes are too. And but you can basically, his whole philosophy was you can figure out what the main dish is. Story, is it your game like mechanics. Starfield is in like the Outer Worlds, Fallout, and New Vegas, and all these games are totally story driven. Knights of the Old Republic. They have good gameplay, they have good RPG mechanics, but like at the end of the day, games like Dragon Age, Knights of the Old Republic, Outer Worlds, Fallout, Morrowind, of course, Oblivion, all those games personally kept me in because I got really into the world. Of course, I was enjoying playing the character, leveling up the character, looting up, and getting more powerful. But like Oblivion, at one point, I think I was in like 8th grade when Oblivion came out. And I was just like hunting vampires. There was this not very fleshed out quest line. It's like 2 quests, and then you become a freelance vampire hunter. You find them, and they're like living in the main city, Cyrodiil, I think. And they're basically just a faction of vampire hunters. And vampirism is a cool thing in Oblivion back then. You could catch the disease of vampirism. And if you really wanted, you could roleplay being a vampire. That later with DLC would have played that stuff. Skyrim, they made it much deeper. It was a whole faction. You could become a vampire lord.
Oh crap.
But
there's this very angry robo man trying to kill me.
are you near me? Way away.
I'm 250 yards away.
Okay, I've got my target marked. I don't know if you see it.
Up on this mountain, there's this. Up on the mountain, there's this tank, and it's shooting down at me. Oh, I see you. I see
The
that
one
you
I'm
marked
on
it.
is for the quest.
I see it.
Anyway, there was no benefit to me continuing to go around killing vampires, except for I could sell the axe, and it wasn't even like dungeon that had vampires in it and steal the ash. Leave some vampire to just had fun doing that for like a couple weeks. For like 3 hours. I just hunt vampires. I definitely think it's a personal preference, and to me, it's like a necessity. This game for me, one of the big weaknesses is like it built this really cool world, but it doesn't tell a story with it. It doesn't tell a story to the player anyway. If it does tell a story, look, I'm sure there's people who would say, well, there's plenty of lore. Tucker and I, every time we would record, I'd have Tucker get on the wiki and he'd start reading the wiki so we could start to try to figure out the story. Basically, everything we know about this world is because we got on the wiki. Right, Tucker?
Right.
But what are your thoughts on that? So, and to be more specific about the questions, second time I found a damn bike. Oh shit. I've got like 12 hours into Starfield, and yeah, it's slow. I'll admit, it's got a slow start to it, for sure. But I do keep logging in. Tucker logged into Starfield last night. He made it to Constellation. That game was off. Today, when he had about an hour while I was doing chores to play some games, he did Texas Chainsaw and Civ. No Starfield to be seen. So, what's holding you back from Starfield, Tucker? What does it need?
I'm not sure.
What made it not? What made you not want to even like bother to try it again today?
You
can think about it.
Yeah, I need a minute.
Is it overwhelming?
It's not overwhelming like No Man's Sky.
Because when your Uncle Derek and I were your age, we actually did play big RPGs like that. Like I'm saying, Morrowind's my favorite game ever. Played a lot of Oblivion. Your Uncle Derek loved Baldur's Gate. Loved it. And now Baldur's Gate 3 is probably going to win Game of the Year. Either it or Jedi Fallen Survivor.
Baldur's Gate's 3 out. Baldur's Gate 3 is out right now.
Yeah, it's out and it's winning. It's getting like 10 out of 10s. It's one of the top selling games on Steam this year. One of the big things that are like, yeah, we're not going to do piecemeal DLC. We're not doing cosmetics. We're not doing always online. We're not doing any of that bullshit. We're just going to make a great RPG. And it's got some clunk to it because it is like a very... Baldur's Gate is really cool because the team that did it is all like true RPG fans. They've played through everything all the way back to like Dungeons and Dragons. And they started Baldur's Gate because they felt like RPGs had become so cynical. They were like the exact same thing over and over again. They weren't willing to kill any more rats in any more taverns, they said. They wanted to actually tell a great story and to really try to bring to life that RPG goodness. So there's like really deep stat tracking, ultra deep companions who like react to every little thing you do. The world evolves around you based upon how you're doing things. Still trying to bring that promise of like really great RPGs, even like Fable, to life. And it's got some old school menus and it's got some really old school controls, and I hear that kind of holds it back. But other than that, it's like pretty much being universally praised. And I know Jedi Fallen Survivor got a lot of praise this year. And I think that what's going to hold back Starfield is that Game of the Year is not decided on your DLC. It's decided on Hydra game launch. And there's going to be a lot of people who say, and I don't think they're being, dishonest or inaccurate, which is, yeah, it's Fallout in space. But what makes you not interested in it, per se, at least at this time, Tuck?
I don't know.
Well, what was your initial impression? You started it.
I did start it. It seemed interesting.
Damn, you made me spit up my drink.
What?
Oh my god. One, your commentary for this episode has been, I don't know. Yeah. And then You're like, that was a major cop-out answer. I don't know. It's getting interesting. Like, that means nothing.
Oh.
What? What's making?
I don't know. It's just not clicking for me.
Well, what's making it get interesting? Are you gonna think you're gonna try it some more? Do you feel like, I'm not? Are you not playing it because you're not into it? Are you not playing it because you're not ready yet? Or are you not playing it and you're like, you're planning on continuing, but just not right now? Or finally, is it like, yeah, this is just not my game. I'm not gonna play.
I want to try it again to make sure.
One thing you liked about it so far, one thing you disliked about it so
far. Oh.
Holy shit. See, I figured I was boring everybody to death, but I guess that my rambling, dishwatery, soap watery, uttery nothings are better than. It's getting interesting, bro. I'll tell you. It's like John Madden. They get 10 yards, they're gonna get the first down. They only got 4 tries to do it, though. Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you, John Madden, for that one. Well, you see, they were just short of the touchdown, so that's not a touchdown. Ooh. Is that how that works? Gotta get to the top of this tower, though.
Top of the
cracking.
tower.
Tucker was not ready for commentary today. One thing you like about it. One thing in your initial impression, you're like, yeah, that's kind of neat. Seemed like you like the spaceship.
Oh yeah, the spaceship's pretty cool. Yep.
Tucker, I want you to put into context. This is something, I guess, as like, again, that I did some dev in my life. Developers put so much of their life and so much of their time. It's one of the reasons I don't, like, just straight up and go new games when I get them. One, I don't have the time. 2, like, I try to smell the roses and appreciate the fact that I mean, I'm a huge believer in the idea of the game. So, I try to look things over. It's one of the reasons I really dislike most procedural generation. Not to say it can't be done well, and that it isn't in a lot of ways necessary and helpful. But for a lot of games, like Oblivion Gates they're just shitty content. They're not good for the player. They don't look good for the dev. And nobody wants to run through. Nobody is like, has so little meaning in their life that is something you should put a player through. Empty, void, just treadmill content. I'm not a fan of that when you do that to players. You have to automate that shit or make it some way meaningful to the player.
Sorry, but look at this.
Dude, you're getting so much good stuff, and I keep getting the ruby red bicycle. Thank you very much for that stuff. So I'm like really trying to give Starfield a chance, and it is definitely growing on me. Like, I am increasingly getting into it, and I'm really starting to like the story and stuff in the world. But like a lot of my buddies, especially from my Twitch days, it's the whole goal is just to absolutely bush hog through the content as quick as humanly possible and be in the end game and see the meta and be the best of the best of the best, sir. And it almost never has any meaning. I hate to say that. Sometimes it does. Like, you could go pro or some shit, I don't know, but this just like run through that shit as fast as you possibly can. Be right back.